Hey, you're listening to No Limits, episode 61. We just had a state of play. Hello, everyone. You might have just heard my cat Toph. Welcome to No Limits, PlayStation podcast. I'm joined by my co-hosts Sam and Brianna. And remember, you can find the video version of this pod over at youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen on audio, we are on all your favorite podcast services, and we would love it if you'd leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we would love any feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that's right for you, just like our current patrons did. Bucky Blue, Aman, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Nikolai, Knight, Cypher Primus, Brenton Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, David Hotright, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Alpaca Tom, and Lee Navarro, fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive. Speaking of Phoenix Overdrive is a team for an event called Extra Life. What is Extra Life? Extra Life is a video game fundraiser where we play games for 24 to 25 hours straight to raise money for sick children. And Kevin Ainsworth from Project X Talk, our Xbox counterpart podcast at Save the Game, him and I will be in Rome, New York this November to play video games. It's going to be great. Raise money for children. You all should do it. Links are in the show notes. Be there or be octagonal instead of square, but you should be there. Ow, ow, ow. And Toph is biting me because she knows it's so important. So you can also check out our Patreon, like I said, but if you're going to pick one or the other right now, pick Extra Life. Speaking of Extra Life, we recently announced our grand prize. If you donate at least $10, will be the Ultimate Edition. It's called the Ultimate Edition? Collector's Edition of Spider-Man 2, which has all 19 inches of Venom statue. And is there a steelbook? There better be a steelbook.
There is.
Yeah, a steelbook and DLC that you probably don't care about, but you get a big statue, and it's going to be great. Spider-Man 2 is hitting October 20th. So
no physical copy of the game.
No physical copy of the game because, like I save the environment. It's the best positive reaction I can make. But what else? What was I going to say? You can also win a digital deluxe version of Spider-Man 2 by rating No Limits 5 stars on your podcast service of choice, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sending that proof of both of those things to the Save the Game Media or Save Game Media at Save Game Media Twitter or X, I guess it's called now, or DM Kevin or one of the co-hosts like myself in Discord with proof. You'll be entered. And yeah, you could win Spider-Man 2 that way. I guess you could win both if you rated 5 stars and do the Extra Life Collector's Edition thing. But please don't. Give someone else an opportunity to own the game. So I guess choose one or the other. Actually, no, screw that. Rate us 5 stars and do it anyway. You maybe get 2 copies of Spider-Man 2, but it helps the algorithm.
Give one to a friend.
You could give it to a friend. But who has friends? Am I right?
Not me.
Am I right, Mr. Red Room? Red Rum.
That's pink right now.
Bree, do you know the Red Rum reference?
No.
She's never seen a film before. Don't ask.
Jesus. Wow.
That was
You've seen Harry Potter.
I have seen Harry Potter.
Prisoner of Azkaban's the best.
No, it's not.
I've only seen the trilogy, by the way. I've only seen the first 3 films.
Well, that's why. Goblet of Fire is definitively the best one.
I didn't realize until now Gary Oldman was the professor who turns into the werewolf. Or not the werewolf, the dog. No, the other werewolf, yeah. One of the werewolves,
the dog.
Professor Dog, is played by Gary Oldman. And I'm like, really? Yes. I had no idea. But in retrospect, there you go. Yeah. Also plays Harry Truman in Oppenheimer. Anyway.
Also true.
Anyway. How are we doing, Bree?
I'm doing okay. Nothing too crazy. Just been trying to survive the past week. So
Aren't we all?
yeah, just living my best life.
Ow! Fuck.
Apparently doing better than Taylor.
I didn't curse. I said "fuh," so I'm not going to put the
I
explicit
laugh.
filter on. Sorry, my cat just decided to like bite the hell out of my finger. So sorry.
In terms of like, you didn't ask, but watching and playing, we
Ooh,
usually cover those at the same time.
ask
Um,
playing.
I have been watching One Piece live action. Finish that. Genuine
Did
10 out of 10.
Daredevil on Disney Plus.
I did not watch that. No,
Uh,
I did watch Captain America: Civil War.
that is a pretty good movie, but Winter Soldier's better.
Damn.
And then I've been playing Lies of P. So
Oh, you've been playing PP. How is it?
I really enjoy it. I'm having a good time. I wish that the in between boss spaces were a little bit more expansive. It feels like my favorite part of Dark Souls games, which I know this is controversial, isn't actually the boss fights. It's like the grinding spaces.
Wow, that is controversial.
Yeah,
Virtual.
so I think I would rather I would like to have a little bit more space for exploration, but I'm also not that far in the game. So yeah. I'm at the Archbishop if anybody is curious.
Hmm.
Okay. Sam, how are you? What are you been playing?
I am exasperated. I am busy as
Mm.
always. That just goes without saying every week. But yes, growing increasingly frustrated. I have been playing some more Starfield. I'm using that as like a de-stressor for like half an hour every evening after I sort of force myself to stop working and be like, well, I'm just going to go do a basic side quest, do this thing. As I said the other week, having fun with it, but liking the package less and less as time goes on. But I am simply just I'm diving in. I'm kind of like a sheriff.
Oh, that's what Kevin said he was kind of doing.
Yeah, so I found that, and I just enjoyed. They're like randomly generated missions where you're going out and hunting a pirate captain or rescuing hostages or something, and they're all quite repetitive. But I quite like doing that at the minute. It gives me good rewards, and I'm sort of not. It's not immersive or anything. I'm not simming. But it's just that those are two very different things. I did not say that, Taylor. Okay. Don't drag me down into the dirt with you. So that's all right. You know, it's okay. It's a good game. But I too have been playing Lies of P. I have been playing it for considerably longer than Bree has. Considerably longer than most people have. I've been playing it for what? It's just probably about a month now, just under.
Jeez.
I concur with most of the reviews that it sits very nicely in the 7 to 8 range. Not that I'm massive on numbers, but it is that good to great kind of thing. It is one of the better Souls-like games that I've played that isn't from FromSoft. For context, I am currently, as I said before we start recording, I'm currently on my 4th playthrough. And I know for a fact I definitively have to do at least 2 more after this one finishes. So that's 6 full playthroughs by the time that I will potentially be done with this game in terms of coverage. So it's becoming a bit long in the tooth. You know, I'm capable of blitzing pretty much everything, but there are still some bosses that I've warned you guys and people in the Discord about that it is one of the most horrific difficulty spikes I've ever seen, and it happens a couple of times in this game. more so than any FromSoft game I've played. It's on the level of Millennia in terms of just how difficult certain bosses are compared to others. I still wouldn't say it's as difficult as Millennia from Elden Ring, but it's pretty close at times. So I'm still bashing my head against a brick wall whenever I get to them, and I think that's just adding to the frustration. But it's still a good game regardless. I can appreciate it, but I kind of want to be done playing it now, personally. What about you, Taylor? What have you been playing? I know you've been playing something.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yesterday, well, a couple things. I bought and started a Baldur's Gate 3 co-op campaign with some friends. That's on PC. That's strictly like an evergreen type thing. I don't have any intentions of doing a single player. It's like a weekly D&D session, weekly Baldur's Gate 3. Because Baldur's Gate 3 is in many ways digitized D&D. So I picked a tiefling. I want to burn things with fire. That's my main shtick right now. I'm a wizard. I burnt when we were playing this past week, one of my friends said, this NPC just like did something. She's like, I wish she would die or something. So then I incinerated the NPC. And then they got mad and then one of my friends got mad at me. He's like, why'd you do that? I'm like, told me to. And
be careful what you wish for.
The game has some interesting animations where it's just like 15 to 20 seconds after I hit the NPC with the fire spell, they're still burning on the ground and like turn into black cinders. I'm like, geez. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3, there are genital filters. Stop it, Toph. So it's a very detailed game, dense game, but I probably wouldn't be playing without friends. I also completed Final Fantasy XVI yesterday.
Woo.
Yes. Thanks. I did it, read it. It's only been almost 3 months. But it's been quite the ride. What an ending. Was I crying? Yes. But, it's okay. My cat really wants to bite the hell out of my right arm right now.
Just needs the attention,
Needs the attention, right? But yeah, so great game. Had to take a break after that ending. Toph is sniffing my microphone, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I was not doing that well after the game ended. I was not. But fantastic game. Final sequences were great as well.
Yeah,
it's about what I expected. I think this is a spoiler. I guess it is. I think my favorite fight of the game is the one. I'll say this: the one with Dion, and leave it there. I'll leave it that vague. But I think you'll know what I'm talking about. For people who've gone through it, that was probably my favorite fight. And yeah, I finished all the side quests, got all the hunts. I was going through the trophy list, debating, do I want to try platinuming this one day? I don't think I do. Maybe I'll play it again in the future on Final Fantasy mode. That is after you beat the game, that's difficulty mode you unlock, where your ability points and perks are preserved, but the game is just much harder. And there's new gear to unlock. Yeah, and one of the final trophies is beating it on that mode. So you will need to do a second playthrough of the game if you want 100%. But
you can kind of speed run it. That's what
I did. You can just skip all the. I can't imagine how many hours it would be shaved off if you ignore the hunt board and you ignore all the side quests.
Yeah.
But I imagine, maybe in your experience, Sam, in Final Fantasy mode, skipping all the side content, did you feel ever under-leveled going to some bosses of the main content, or you're always on par?
I mean, there were definitely points where it was particularly difficult, but nothing that was like insurmountable. It was just,
Okay.
I put it this way, I don't actually remember dying all that much, if at all, in Final Fantasy mode. But I was like, I mean, everybody does, but I was spamming iconic abilities. I was playing very strategically and conservatively. So
Zantetsuken, what a broken icon move.
Everyone discards it initially. They're like, that seems dumb. It takes so long to charge up.
No. Dancing Steel. If you just get an opening, or once you get the stagger down to half stagger gauge and you hit L2 with Garuda's icon equipped, you get him in stagger, charge your dancing, use Dancing Steel. Then when you completely stagger them and the yellow gauge is at 0, you prime, then you use Zantetsuken, upgrade to level 5, equip the necklace that makes it charge 25% more when using Dancing Steel. And I was on the final boss, I guess I'm not going to mention the final boss's name, but on a level 5 Zantetsuken hit, or I'll say combo, I think I whittled at least 15% of their health bar per attack, or per sequence, at least that much.
Yeah,
it's major. But yeah, I wish Shiva's icon was. I guess that's all spoiler.
You can infer that probably you're going to get other.
Yeah, I really don't think it is. So. I think Shiva's icon, gameplay wise, might be the most underwhelming.
Yeah.
But there are some trophies I saw where like you need to use some of those abilities to get all the trophies. Maybe if I return to the game, I'll equip it more. But I think my favorite icons. So Zantutsek, Odin's was the best, but I think my favorite icons is Phoenix, because Flame Shift, you need it for optimal movement, in my opinion. I'm a big movement guy. I think Phoenix, Garuda are always needed. But for number 3, I think I mentioned this before, but I think I'm going to double down and say Titan. No.
Yes.
Well, okay. I think, again, Odin's is the most functional in terms of effectiveness, but I think Titan's is just the most satisfying. When you hit the counter, steel counter, it's great. Yep. And use, so in my final icon build for the final boss, I had mastery on, what was it called? Yeah, the fist, not upheaval. What was it called?
I can't remember. It's been too long for me.
It was called Wind Up. I had Wind Up with Dancing Steel and Zantetsuken.
Back in my day.
So that was good. Anyway, enough nerding out about Final Fantasy 16. That was great. I guess, no, I'm not going to stop yet. Next, I think I'm going to play The Legend of... I'm going to be playing Spider-Man 2018 DLC before Spider-Man 2 comes out, because I never did that yet. That might be later in the month. But for now, I think I'm going to play Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Have a little bit of on a downtrend. Or there's an off chance I pick up Final Fantasy VII, the original, and start playing that, because I guess, how do I say this? Yeah, I'm not going to get off my soapbox yet. The highs I felt during the Final Fantasy 16 story, I really wonder, knowing that caliber of narrative is behind some of these marquee JRPGs that are turn-based. If knowing that's coming, I can overlook more of combat that previously bored me, because the story is that good. Because I think... No, I'm not playing 14 yet. Even though Creative Business Unit 3 is awesome. They developed both 16 and 14. I know that much. But as I get older, I think I'm valuing narrative more and more in games. So, and also the remake Rebirth hype has kind of got me interested. But
listen,
what I will say...
All right. Go ahead.
No, Bree, sorry, I interrupted.
I was going to change the conversation a little bit.
So okay, just as a pointer, because you mentioned it, Taylor. I will say, if anybody is thinking of playing Spider-Man 2 and hasn't played the DLC yet, you really probably should, because there are major story developments, or character developments, should I say, that are 100% going to be in Spider-Man 2.
Oh.
And if you don't play the DLC, you might not know about. So you might
All
be
right.
like, wait, what, how did this happen? Why did this happen?
For accessing the DLC, is it you just pick it from the main menu and it's a continuation of a certain save, or you access it seamlessly in the main game? It's like an available mission.
I think from what I can remember, there is a tab in your pause menu in game that is the DLC, and I think from there you can access it.
Okay.
And there's no like you don't have to, I don't think you have to have beaten the game or anything. So if you don't have a complete save, I think you can dive into all the DLCs regardless. So
yeah, I have a new game plus, but I also think I should have old save data that transferred from the PS4 version on Spider-Man Remastered. I think I have a new game plus, but also I think I have the end game save of my original playthrough. So it'll probably take me at least a play session to get refamiliarized with all the controls and the combat.
Sure.
But good way to do it is just play the DLC with Screwball and others, whatever.
And others.
I guess. But yep. Yep. What were you going to say, Bree?
I was just going to say it's a really good time to get into Final Fantasy XIV right now.
Isn't it like $15? Isn't it like $15 a month?
It's like $12 a month.
But I could put that.
So get a bunch of free time.
I could put all that money towards Switch games.
So the new expansion's coming out next summer, so you have enough time to catch up with the story and everything. And there's so much content. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, but there's so much content.
Knowing me, I won't be able to get to it all before the summer.
I think you would. But yeah, it's a good time. You just go through it. You can usually get a bundle that has almost all the expansions besides the most recent one for like a good price. And they usually give you either like 30 or 60 days free, depending. So yeah, it's a great time. Sam, you should too.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
If they
I just don't do MMOs.
Yeah,
I wish I was into them, but
single player. If they make a single player version,
you can play it mostly single player.
But you need to connect to the servers, which conceptually I just don't like that.
Yeah, but hold on.
I wonder if they've stated how long do they expect to support the servers? It's okay.
A while.
For as long as it's popular, I guess.
Yeah, so they have. I think they promised a certain number of major expansions, and we haven't. I think we have 2 or 3 more major expansions, and those come once every 3 years or so. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
What a redemption story, you know?
Yeah, it's actually. Have you seen like that? It's like worked in game, like the whole like redemption stuff is like in the game.
No.
Yeah, so there's something called the Calamity where everything was like destroyed on the Earth, like on the planet, and that was just them wiping the game.
If it works,
it worked, and yeah, it worked. I thought it was smart because all the characters know about it too.
Meta.
According to Google, in 2022, actually, this is a Square Enix press release. Square Enix has revealed plans to continue support for the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV Online for the next 10 years. This is from February 2022.
So Bree will be playing this when she's old and grey, probably, because it doesn't seem to be losing popularity. I didn't mean that in 10 years' time you'll be old and grey, but like, I don't see it losing popularity, so you probably will still have it to go back to when we are much older.
Yeah, that's probably true. And hopefully I still will keep going back to it. I've kind of Not that I need to keep playing it, but I've dropped League of Legends, and I thought I'd always play that all the time. So who knows?
Wait, Final Fantasy XI was dropped. So Final Fantasy XI was also an MMORPG.
Mm-hmm.
That had 20 years of support before Square Enix dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Final Fantasy XIV's been around for what, 9?
I don't know.
In 2014, right? Oh, August 24, 2013. It's been around for 10 years.
Yeah, so we got
Yeah.
another 10. There you go.
But I could play so many other Final Fantasy. See, now I have like an itch to just like get into some like OG Final Fantasy stuff. But maybe I don't like it, and I go to 14 anyway.
Yeah, someday you'll come around, and then I'll finally be able to play it with somebody.
Can you switch? Can you switch? Not switch. Transfer your save to like PlayStation or PC. Is it account linked or console linked?
It's account linked. It's based on a server.
Actually, I've never played this on console. What am I saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. People do play it on console, but with how many buttons that you need, I like literally I buy an MMO mouse like for Final Fantasy 14. Like,
Oh wow.
Yeah, you can see the piece of my mouse that I use. So.
Oh wow, no kidding. Is it so? You use mouse and keyboard? Yeah, mouse and keyboard. Do you have to like? And now we're getting to. Maybe I should just like. How about this? Post show, we're gonna talk about Final Fantasy 14. But now it's time to talk about.
I can even show you all my buttons. Yay!
Okay, we'll talk about the news. We're right into it. There's a lot this past week. We had a standard operating procedure, also known as state of play, and it was a biggie. And
that's what I do all day is write SOPs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For state of play, obviously.
Right. I don't feel like reading this. It's a big story. Sam's gonna read it.
Wow. Okay.
He's the only one who watched it.
Am I?
Did you watch it, Bree? Oh, I didn't.
I don't think I should read any stories unless they're really short today. So you guys might just have to split between the two of you.
Okay, we'll split it.
So the state of play. We'll just do. I won't necessarily stop at any of these unless we have any major talking points.
I think we'll have major talking points on Spider-Man and Final Fantasy.
That's why I said unless we have major talking points.
Okay,
so,
Sam.
I think this is chronological.
It is. This is from PS Blog, yeah.
Yes, we started off with Baby Steps, which is the next game from. It's coming from Devolver, Bennett Foddy, the creator of Getting Over It.
Okay.
Yeah, makes more sense when you know that.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those games, only up, co-op, that style of thing. Very contrived control scheme, I imagine. You're trying to get a guy up a hill, sort of, and doing other things by the looks of it. He was on a skateboard. There's a grapple system, apparently. And VO, there's voice acting. That is coming to PlayStation in summer of next year, 2024. Then, relatively big news. I think this was known ahead of time, but it was officially confirmed, at least in the state of play, that Roblox is finally coming to PlayStation on September 10th. So that's already happened, apparently. So if you're into Roblox, get on it. It's not for me. I imagine I'm speaking for both of you when say it's not for you either.
I am not a Roblox person.
My therapist tried to convince me to play Roblox, and that's a true story.
It's a behemoth. We know that much. It makes a lot of money, but so it coming to PlayStation is a big deal, but not for us. Then, lordy, we got the announcement of Resident Evil 4 Remake DLC, Separate Ways, which is centered around Ada Wong. I think that was actually DLC for the first game, for the original, sorry, and it is just being like the remake revamped for the remake. That is coming September 21st. So that's only a few days away at time of recording. And when you're listening to this, or maybe when you're listening to this, it's already out. So have fun. Is it good? Tell me. And there is also a mercenary update. It's not listed here in the story, but that includes, I think, Wesker and Ada as playable characters. And the free PSVR 2 mode for Resident Evil 4 Remake is coming sometime this winter. Anybody interested? Anybody going to play the DLC?
Yeah, eventually, but not right now. I am having a really hard time even playing the main game. So I just tried playing it last week. I was like, oh, it's not that it's
So
not good.
you're going to wait for the PSVR 2 mode,
No,
and then dive in.
no, I'm gonna wait
No.
for the. I don't know what.
Just
If
for
I
the right
understood how
time.
if I understood how my brain worked,
Yeah.
that would help.
Next up, we had a new Avatar Frontiers of Pandora trailer, which is still set to release on December 7th. Is anybody interested in this?
Tentatively. My mom's probably super interested, to be honest. But I'm hesitant because I have played an Avatar game before. I believe it was the one that was on the Wii, and it wasn't great. But that doesn't mean this game won't be great.
Yeah.
I'm just hesitant. So
I too am hesitant, but I am quite looking forward to it. I think even if it does end up just being, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said Avatar Cry.
That's like what it seems like. I like Far Cry 2.
So do I. So like, but if it's Avatar, but if it's Far Cry, but with a alien sci-fi skin on it, with a few different mechanics, and obviously there's the flying and the mounts and stuff,
and where you connect each other's hair, and you. There's also the sex scene in the first movie.
There is. So if it's that, I'm in.
if it's the sex scene from the first movie,
I'm so glad I mentioned it.
Yeah. No, if it's just Far Cry, I think that's fine. That's enough for me. I hope it's
it
even
won't.
better.
If it's Far Cry, then I won't play it.
I mean, that is what it's going to be.
That is, yeah.
It's going to be Far Cry, basically.
Interesting. So, Sam, have you played you played Far Cry 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yes.
What's your favorite? And all those.
Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon 2, right? I haven't played 6, but I loved 5 a lot, personally.
Okay.
Because I'm from America.
I liked 5. I still think, I mean, it's the stereotypical answer. I do think that 3 is the most interesting, not just for Voss. I just think that it was less complicated then. Like there is a simplicity to Far Cry 3 where it was Ubisoft before their worlds become overabundant with map markers and stuff.
That was the one. That was the game that broke. It was like the post Skyrim game that I feel like it was the first game after Skyrim launched. That was the big thing to play, to highlight the power of your PC, to go to all the different places. And like that's when Ubisoft hit it off with the Far Cry, or I guess the open world, tower to tower formula.
Yeah. But besides 3, it would probably be the spin-offy ones, whether it is Blood Dragon. I actually really liked Primal as well. I know a lot of people didn't, but again, because it was the Far Cry formula, but just it had a different coat of paint on it. It felt different enough that I enjoyed my time with it. So hopefully Avatar can be that, if not more. Then I could have sworn these colors already existed, if I'm being honest. But we got the reveal of the Deep Earth collection, which are new metallic color options for both the DualSense and the console covers, which will both be available for purchase later this year. They are Volcanic Red and Cobalt Blue, both of which are launching on November 3rd. And the Sterling Silver option is going to be available January 26th of next year. The collection will go up for pre-order on October 4th at 10 a.m. local to your region. US, UK, France, Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Italy, Spain, Austria, Portugal. If you are unsure, you can just probably go check out the PlayStation blog. There will be a dedicated thing relating to those covers, and you can find out in your territory where to get them and when. I assume none of us are going to get either of any of those. No, we're all quite content with what we've got so far. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my stickers on mine. So
yeah, I'm still contemplating getting a Spider-Man, the logo, the white logo decal, just to stick on my black plates.
Yeah, just so you can have something with Spider-Man.
Yeah. Besides the 19-inch Venom, of course.
Yeah.
Next up in the state of play, Helldivers 2 got they said an extended showcase. It wasn't really that long. They showed some gameplay off. They had that cringy team chat stuff going on that I thought died out years ago, but they brought it back. Did seem a little bit more authentic, but I think that's because it was the devs doing it as opposed to paid actors. But still, it didn't work. But the game now has a release date, seemingly delayed because it was announced at the showcase that it was 2023. Rumors suggested October. But it now has a release date of February 8th, 2024. Anyone got thoughts?
Cool.
Head
I'm a big
empty.
Helldivers guy. Yeah.
No thoughts.
Yeah, it didn't. It actually probably, that gameplay showcase probably put me off more than sold me on it. It gave me like Outriders, which is a fine game, but still, and Avengers, Marvel's Avengers, that game that did so well, that is based on missions and squadding up with teammates and stuff. And
Ew.
like, I'm not sure that mix is going to work. I think that there's some stuff there. Again, I think we discussed it. Like, if it launched as a PS Plus thing, day one, to get a big audience, I would try it out. But if it's like a retail thing, it just is not for me, which is unfortunate. But you know what is for me? Spider-Man 2. It got a new trailer, everybody. Well, technically not a trailer. I mean, it was a trailer, but also not a trailer. Yeah. Brian Intihar, the creative director at Insomniac, who is was creative director on Spider-Man 1 and is also on Spider-Man 2. He did a VO sort of guide through the open world elements of Spider-Man 2, how things have been improved. Taylor, you haven't seen it, so I will not say anything spoilery. But he started by breaking down the map, which we knew had been expanded. He says basically doubled in size. We've got the Brooklyn and Queens boroughs of New York off to the right-hand side. You can glide over the water with your web wings, or you can swing on the bridges to get over.
Or 19 inches of Venom.
Yeah, it's 19 inches. Probably not enough to get you across the water, but, you know, every little helps. He broke down, there was a lot of things that he broke down. He broke down the web wing mechanic. He broke down the wind tunnels that you can use to assist you with your web wings. He talked about how the AR in the lenses help you to visualize things in the world that you can navigate to and find and sort of emergently discover, rather than selecting a point on a map. And it reduces the amount of time you need to be in the menus, so you can glide around, and if you find a photo opportunity, you won't know that it's there until you have actually gone to that place, and then it will sync as a point on your map, whether you complete it or not. So there's a bit more discoverability, which is nice. There were teases of other villains, which I will not say, don't worry. But he talked about, you know, the story that we've heard about multiple times. He talked about side quests, revamped activities, some combat stuff. Yeah, he talked about the suits, which we know is, I mean, there were some reveals of suits that are in there. again, I'm not going to say anything, Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be happy. We're going to be very happy.
Is Bully? Oh wait. Did they confirm if Bully Maguire Black Suit is going to be in the game?
Do you want me to tell you?
No, I'm no. Okay.
So I'm not going to break your heart or make you happy either way. Yeah, I didn't think I could be more sold and more hyped for this game, but every single thing they showed just had me grinning ear to ear. Like this it's going to be so big.
Do you
I
think
don't
we're
mean in
going to
terms
see
of
Miguel?
scope. No.
Well, we got the 2099 suit at least last game.
Yeah,
2018.
I think like how it was in the first couple of Spider-Man games, there will probably be like a name reference to him somewhere. Not that he is like a character that actively exists in the world, but there will be a reference to him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And this isn't saying anything, Taylor. Don't worry, it's not. I'm inferring something from new footage or anything. I would wager that we will see Gwen Stacy, not necessarily as Spider-Woman, but we will see her as a human character in this game to some extent. I think that makes the most sense potentially. It's that the trailer that they showed reassured me that my investment into the collector's edition and buying the controller and everything were worthwhile.
Yeah,
I think that this trailer alone kind of showed how meaningless all of the angry discourse around PlayStation is they're going to do so bad, we know nothing, well they aren't showing anything. It's like, well, they've got one of the biggest games of the year coming up in a couple of weeks. So
Sam, you
it's
were
bigger than 19
too.
inches.
Sam, you were upset too. So
all right.
I mean, I was,
Oh, okay.
and I still am. I want them to tell.
Oh,
tell us
okay.
that
So
they're
you're
working
also
on it.
making fun of yourself. Okay.
I am. I'm
Okay.
willingly, not
Okay.
knowingly doing that, but like it shows how easily perception can flip either way. They show the
Yeah.
goods, we're happy. They don't, we're like, where's the goods?
I still need to know the goods for next year.
Hey,
I have no goods. Where are my goods?
there's Final Fantasy Rebirth, there's Rise of the Ronin, there's Stellar
Okay, that's fair.
Blade, there's potentially Little Devil Inside if that's not vaporware. I will stand by my comment that probably Death Stranding 2 could hit end of next year.
You want Death Stranding 2?
You don't know that for sure, right? That's what
I
I'm saying is I want to see. And also Death Stranding is still not my thing because I haven't even played the first one.
Silent Hill 2 remake likely next year.
That's true.
But again, we still don't know that for sure.
Wolverine could hit next year.
I think Silent Hill 2 remake, unless they announce a delay, is like 90% coming next year.
I think so too.
Okay,
I'd be relatively confident saying that. Anyway, continuing with the state of play, we had Ghostbusters Rise of the Overlord announced for PSVR 2. This was heavily implied that it was coming. I think that even the devs said that they were working on a port. That is coming October 26th with all of the bells and whistles that you would expect from PSVR 2, eye tracking, haptics, etc. I will not play this whenever I get a PSVR 2. It's just not my thing. Tales of Arise. This definitely isn't my thing, but it's getting new DLC, which I think is a big deal. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn DLC, which is launching November 9th. So that's pretty close as well in the grand scheme of things. It's been classed as, quote, a first DLC, so maybe we can expect more, and is acting as a direct continuation of the main story. So if you're a Tales of Arise fan, you're probably going to be eating pretty good in a month or two. I don't think that... Does that count for any of us? Have we played Tales of Arise? No.
Nope. Sorry.
But I saw a lot of reactions being very positive to this. Like a lot of people getting very excited that this was announced. So it's obviously a big deal.
Yeah, it seems to be an exciting thing, just not this audience here.
Yeah. Arguably the biggest reveal.
Another 19 inches.
I'm not sure if that's confirmed. Maybe it is. It is. Jesus.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let me double check.
We got a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with a release date. It is coming February 29th, 2024. There was also a developer interview that came out shortly after the trailer and the state of play concluded.
Yeah, 19 inches. 19 inches of Sephiroth.
His sword is probably that long. Like, have you seen in Smash Brothers, for context, Sephiroth's sword is probably the longest object in the game. It is
bigger than Cloud's?
Oh, well, longer.
Oh, okay.
And
he's
skinnier. Cloud
length isn't everything.
Cloud's is a bit of a CH word. Whereas Sephiroth,
it's not the length of the sword, it's how you use it.
Because
Cloud's is a lot more girthy.
It is a lot more girthy, but it's not short.
But it's shorter than Sephiroth's.
That's true.
Cloud has holes in it as well, so maybe that might be a thing for someone, you know.
Yeah,
maybe. Not discriminatory.
Yeah.
Anyway, the developer interview shared a few new details. Minor spoilers, I guess, if anybody is particularly concerned. But I'll ramble through these as quickly as possible, just in case you can skip ahead 20 seconds or so. So there is a new synergy mechanism similar to limit breaks, which to express the bond between companions. Players are now able to control and use Red 13 in combat, and he has a revenge gauge, guarding when charging against enemy attacks.
Or charging when guarding. 13, I miswrote that. It charges when guarding against enemy attacks. Yeah,
right. That makes more sense. Yeah. Charging when guarding against the enemy attacks. Red 13 became a party member in the second half of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and likewise there will be characters that become playable in Rebirth that will be available at the start of the next Final Fantasy VII game, so the third game in the trilogy. Rebirth also includes plenty of mini games at the Golden Saucer. They've also designed chocobos unique to each region of the game. Save files and character levels are independent of your progress in Remake, and this will also be the case from Rebirth into that next final game in the trilogy. Major spoiler, I suppose, for where the game ends. If you played Final Fantasy VII, you'll know. But they have said that the locations in Rebirth and therefore the story will extend up to the Forgotten Capital section of the original Final Fantasy VII. That will mean everything to some people, nothing to others. And also, as a final note, the trailer said that Rebirth will not be available on other platforms until at least May 29th of next year. So that's 3 months after it launches on PS5. That does not mean that it will come to PC, whatever else, immediately at that date. I imagine it's probably a year. I think that's how these things work most of the time, if not longer. But I think they're just doing that to say, I think maybe even the exclusivity thing isn't quite worked out yet in terms of the period duration for it. But it will come to other places eventually, but not Xbox.
You don't think?
Because Xbox sucks.
I don't think it's coming to. Do you think it's coming to Xbox after this May 29th period? No,
because Remake has never come to Xbox.
Well, have we seen a scenario where the sequel comes out, but the first one didn't? I mean, I know that would be really weird.
Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, yes, but I don't know that Square would want to do that. The only way, thinking about it, the only way I think that it could work is that they did announce during this trailer that there was like a pre-order for like the 2-pack, I think, that you could buy both together. So unless after this date or after an undisclosed amount of time where the exclusivity on PS5 ends, they make that bundle available to Xbox. But I still wouldn't hedge my bets on it. I think Sony care too much about Final Fantasy exclusivity as much as possible, particularly for as beloved and critically acclaimed as Remake was, I imagine the same will probably follow suit with Rebirth. So I would wager that Sony will want to keep it console exclusive to them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Time will tell, though. It's not impossible.
True.
Yeah, wait, what's the, like, is there a big, like, look at Persona 5, right?
Yeah.
What?
I'm just laughing because we've been on this for 30 minutes.
That's all right. And Persona 4.
We've now the same amount of time as the actual thing.
And we're nearly done with the state of play. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
And Bree thought we could guess all the stories. Huh.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't think we would spend 30 minutes on this story.
It's it is a ginormous stories, collection of
I'm not
stories,
saying
really.
it's a bad thing we did. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I'm surprised we did. It's fine.
So let's wrap it up. We have a new Ghost Runner 2 demo, which is available on PS5 right now, that came with a new story trailer as part of the state of play. I like the first Ghost Runner. I will probably try the demo out, but I won't be diving into Ghost Runner 2 immediately in terms of the full game. But I probably will pick it up eventually because it's a good game. Good game. It tickles that like FromSoft itch in terms of like the
Does it?
Sekiro and like the perfect parry stuff. That's the itch that it scratches.
Does it really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's like
I'll
a
check out
one
the
hit you're
demo.
dead kind of thing. But it's very fast paced first person thing.
Oh, first person? No.
Yeah.
I'm
Then the one we've all been waiting for, Foam Stars, has an open beta, which is coming later this month, September.
Are you gonna play it?
No. But apparently Foam Stars is much better than we thought it was going to be. So
I think you should play it.
you never know. Should I play it and report back?
Yeah.
How it went?
Yeah.
Maybe if I have enough time, I'll try it out and then I'll do some research, some detective
Of the
work.
three of us, you're the most likely to have time to play it.
And that's saying something because I barely have any time.
Well, that's not true. It's not having time. It's most likely to play it regardless of time.
Sure. And then lastly, Honkai Star Rail is finally releasing on PS5 on October 11th,
Yay.
which is coming
This
from
is what I've been
Hoyoverse,
waiting
of course, the Genshin Impact devs.
Really? You're interested in Honkai Star Rail, Bree?
Yeah, it's hot characters doing things. What if you've learned
There's going to be
nothing
some
about
grey-haired people in there,
You and Kyle
there's
both.
swords.
Well, Bree, if you like Honkai Star Rail, then you really should play Fire Emblem.
No, I shouldn't.
Well, actually, let me retract this statement. After the time jump in Fire Emblem, don't get sweet on characters that are depicted as children, please, internet. Except, okay, Manuela is an adult in Final Fantasy III Houses, and she could throw me off a cliff.
Damn.
Okay.
She's also an alcoholic. So maybe I should rethink this.
Who cares?
Oh dear. General thoughts on state of play now that we've wrapped it up? Was it how we
It was
feeling about
definitely not for me, but I think it was a good state of play.
From not watching it, it looked like it was a good state of play on paper.
Yeah. I think it's weird. A lot of people have been saying it was a mid state of play. And I guess like if you're coming from your perspective, Bree, of like just not a lot of stuff shown was for me. I get that. But in terms of what they actually delivered,
Yeah.
I think it is a good one.
Yeah. I would agree solidly good. And
particularly
again, that I
because-
understand it's not for me.
Yeah, particularly because they said that like it would be about upcoming games in the near future that was focusing on indie and third party. But then to have like obviously wouldn't be for you, but the surprise of Spider-Man 2 and actually getting a proper nice in-depth little look there, and the Rebirth thing.
Yeah.
I think even if they aren't for you, you should probably be able to acknowledge.
Well,
I'm not talking to you, Bree, but I'm saying to other people.
I'm
who are
saying
calling it mid.
19 inches, those are for me.
I mean, sure. But It is a good statue. It is a good statue.
It is. It is.
If only we had endless money, you know. I would snap that up in an instant.
I could afford it, but do I really want to spend $350 on it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, very, very good state of play overall. You know, now we just need a showcase where they can show all their first party stuff.
Right.
All their first party stuff.
So, as a follow up to that, then, do you think we'll get that? Do you think we will get that showcase before year's end?
No.
I imagine it'd be January.
I don't even know if they do that.
Yeah, I'm now on the bandwagon of it's.
Well, I say this, but then like PS5 still flies off the shelves with not many games being released. So it's like, because again, we talked about this before, because of how hard the PS4 pushed Sony into its current position in the market, I think they can still just coast and have things flying off the shelves anyway.
Well, I mean, Spider-Man 2 is going to sell gangbusters.
Spider-Man 2, right? But looking at 2024 specifically, I guess is what I'm talking about.
Sure,
I
but
really
like
hope they're not
into
that momentum. Yeah. They make DLC for it. There you go.
I don't know if we will get DLC for it. I actually kind of hope we don't.
Well, it's okay. We've got God of War DLC next year, so.
Well, that's another one. That's not confirmed. Final Fantasy 16 DLC, no, that's confirmed.
That is confirmed. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think that they can very easily. Would I like them to not coast and not say anything for months? Of course. But I think that Spider-Man 2 is going to be such a big game in terms of like publicity and marketing and sales, shifting consoles and software, that they really don't need to. And as much as we can complain and whine and where's the news? We want to know what's coming. If we're buying Spider-Man 2 and we're playing Spider-Man 2 and we have stuff very early next year like Helldivers and Final Fantasy Rebirth, they really don't need to say anything. They can do another state of play early next year, do a little deep dive dedicated thing for Rebirth, a few other smaller updates, maybe give a date for Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade.
I really
and then think they can coast off that to June time where they would do a showcase again. I think.
I think that they are going to announce something first party for next year or show something first party for next year at the Game Awards.
So do I.
So I don't think that we'll be going completely blind into the new year, but I also don't think we're going to get a lot.
Yeah.
We'll probably get like a random Death Stranding 2 trailer that doesn't really say anything. And then we'll probably get one other thing.
Actually, all of the Death Stranding trailers actually say quite a lot, but you just have to know what they're saying.
Okay.
I was being facetious, but also kind of true, because
I'm sure it is true, but like
they seem really obscure, and they are. But there is a at least for the first game, because I can speak to that. All the weirdness and absurdity, it did actually have a point.
Yeah.
But
and I'm sure it does, but still. Okay, well, now that we're an hour in, story 2.
Yeah. We're only to all stories, everyone. This was going to be pretty quick. Maybe we'll get to a few stories and then post-show. I think we can get through story 3 and call it a main show.
Sure.
I mean, 5 can have like a quick mention, I think.
Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition is rumored to be coming to PC, according to Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming.
Whoa, that was really quick.
You know? No, it's actually Mike Straw's the author. I thought Henderson did the entire website.
No, only. He's got
that's a lie. Mike Straw, from Insider Gaming. It says Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition is going to PC.
It is. Which is the base game and Burning Shores, for people that don't know. So that's probably a PS5 version of the game. Not a PS5 version of the game, a bundle for PS5. And then the PC port.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Play Horizon, people.
I'll think about it.
I will do it eventually, I think. Well, Sam, there's so many. This is the thing where I'll never play all the games in life. And is Horizon
It's okay.
Is Horizon Zero Dawn a game that I want? Okay, this is a bit of a side tangent. We're in. I don't care. I think I'm approaching a point in games where it's rather than consistently playing sequels of a genre I already know I like, or a series I already know and like and familiar with. I think I'm trending towards trying new and novel genre type experiences, like trying an OG JRPG, trying the original, like going to Xbox franchises, trying the original Gears of War, maybe trying the original Horizon Forbidden West, rather than going like, I'm going to play Star Ocean and Star Ocean 2 and Star Ocean 3, or like Yakuza 6, then Yakuza 7, then Yakuza 8. I love the Yakuza games, but I'm trending more towards trying to get as many novel gaming experiences as I can just for variety is the spice of life. So what I'm trying to say is I think I'll approach Horizon just because we don't have the only Ubisoft-esque open world game I've played from PlayStation's palette is Ghost of Tsushima. Not Forbidden West, and killing robot dinosaur seems kind of fun. So I think I'll play it eventually, but I don't know when. I also got all the Nintendo stuff I want to get to. I want to get to some Zelda stuff.
It's okay, Taylor. You don't have to explain yourself to me.
At least I finish the few games I play.
That's true. Yeah, you do have that positive. Yeah.
Bree, will you if you finish will you finish Final Fantasy 16?
Yes.
Do it. Anyway, this isn't.
No, this whole podcast has been roast Brianna.
No, it isn't. It isn't. We can yell at what's one. Let me think of. I know of a reason I can yell at Sam.
Go on.
He's British.
Yeah.
That's hey, whatever. I'll take it.
I can't believe you don't call it sidewalk, freaking pavement.
Wait, you don't? What are you talking about? They call a sidewalk pavement?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
I mean, it is true.
What? Hang on. Whoa.
Okay.
So if we actually
but we
break
call American
them down
football. We call American football. I think we have.
If you say pavement, and then you go sidewalk because I walk on the side, it's like which one sounds more stupid?
Pavement.
you call trousers pants. What are you on about? Nonsense.
You asked for it.
No, I didn't. Taylor just decided to direct some equal hate towards me as being a British person, and then you brought up the language thing. Yeah. So this is a group venture that's happened here.
That's fair. That's fair.
Someone tell me what's coming to PS Plus. Anyone?
What's coming to PS Plus?
Taylor, that's you.
Me? I don't PS Plus.
I can't talk long enough.
It's okay. Sure. So you have some PS Plus catalog updates for September. Coming to PS Plus Extra and Premium. Right, that's considered the catalog. It goes to both those tiers. So we have Nier Replicant, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Civ 6, Star Ocean: The Divine Force, Sniper, Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, Odin Sphere, Life Thrissier. Yep, that's how I'm pronouncing it. Unpacking, Planet Coaster Console Edition, The War of Mine Final Cut, Cloudpunk Contra Rogue Core, Tales Noir, Call of the Sea, West of Dead, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness, and Paw Patrol the movie, The Adventure City Calls. Of course,
guess who's going to be playing Paw Patrol?
For that easy platinum, I know Sam will.
Again?
God damn right I am.
Yeah. And coming to PS Plus Premium only, it is, as classic titles, it's all Star Ocean games. Star Ocean First Departure R, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Star Ocean The Last Hope, 4K and Full HD Remaster. Oh, and we have Dragon's Crown Pro. So if you love Star Ocean, maybe sub to Classic for a month, I guess. So
5 Star Ocean games, Jesus.
Yeah, overall, I think this is quite solid. Nier Replicant and 13 Sentinels, in my opinion, are the standouts. Specifically Nier Replicant. And I just haven't played Nier Automata, other on the list.
You could start with Nier Replicant if you really wanted to, because it's technically comes before.
I like playing games in release order, usually, if I have a choice over chronological
was
order.
Released before.
No, it wasn't.
Replicant is a remake of a game that was
No. It was released after, chronologically before.
Right, but the game that
it's remaking was released
before. Oh, I see what you're saying. But isn't Nier Replicant the remake iterating on the gameplay systems from Nier Automata? Is that wrong? Is it going directly from Nier?
So Nier Replicant.
I know it's a remake of the original Nier.
It does. It's the same way. It's the exact same thing as like Demon Souls, where it's like Demon Souls pulls like fixing mechanics from the later games, but it's still the original game. Or at least that's my understanding. Not that I've played the original game, but
All right.
Did that answer your question, Taylor?
Yeah, I still think I'm going to play Automata first, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so that was the PS Plus lineup for this month. I think pretty good. But with the price increase, in my opinion, not good enough for how much I'm paying. Or, well, I'm not paying. Actually, side tangent again, I do not think I'm upgrading to extra. Sorry, I think I'm downgrading to essential once my current sub is up.
Oh.
I just don't play enough extra titles.
Which is fair enough.
And like I said, all the ones that I did pull from there, the $10 upgrades that I would grab for Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, maybe I could grab a month or two for Ratchet and Clank or Forbidden West.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For now,
dip in when something you are interested in shows up, and then dip back out.
Yep. So, anyway, next. All right. Oh, so we have the Unity mess. So Kevin talked about this. Sam, maybe we could split this.
Yeah. They're almost the exact same thing. I might recommend going off of the Eurogamer. The IGN one is more reflecting on the chain, like their, like the way they course corrected. Eurogamer, I think, covers all of it, but I could be wrong.
So maybe I think, yeah, it's a lot.
I think it's okay to just recap. I just linked these in case we needed it, but
okay. So I don't know, Sam, maybe we could split this. Yeah. So Kevin talked about this extensively over in Project X Talk. If you want a complete rundown of what's going on, please listen to that podcast. I always want to prop up X Talk when we can. And I listened to last episode. He does an excellent job. So Uni situation, listen to Project X Talk. I believe it's the first story he talks about. If not, it's the most major one on that episode. So, but basically, right, Unity said they're retroactively, a couple things. For every install of a game, they're charging players or installers a flat fee of 20 cents. Is that correct?
They're charging the dev.
For the devs, I should say. The dev.
Not the people.
But even if you were to... So if someone buys your game, they install it, do they still charge you as the developer?
So that was the issue that was happening, was basically they were saying we're going to charge for every single install, whether it was like from Game Pass, from purchasing, from
like, and they were going to do it retroactively.
Re-downloading
that was the huge thing. It's like Kevin used a great acronym on his, or Kevin, I think, referenced someone else using this acronym, which I think is a great analogy, where it's, imagine if you're a restaurant owner and actually I forget. Basically, if someone asked for, I'm not gonna butcher this. It's basically if every time you bought, let's say you bought groceries, every time you bought groceries over the past 5 years, I'm gonna use a new one, and maybe it's probably worse. And now all of a sudden, all your grocery stores say, oh, there's an extra tax, or not a tax, there's an extra fee. You owe us for all the groceries you spent on every trip, and you owe that money to us now. And it's like, maybe it's only a few bucks per grocery trip, to grocery shopping every week. All of a sudden, maybe you have to fork over hundreds to thousands of dollars just like that. And it hits the developers harder, especially on high install games like Among Us. And I think their developer, Innersloth, right? Or something Sloth, responded to Unity on this, that like, there's a ton of indie devs that would get hammered by this.
Yeah, and it would have put a lot of people out of business, I think.
Yeah, and I think when this story initially surfaced, I was fully confident. Once I saw the term that Unity was going to be doing, not the term, the statement they were going to be doing this retroactively, I thought for sure there would be some class action lawsuits filed that was a TOS, terms of service violation, from the current terms to what was signed at the time the developers used Unity for their project. Maybe like all the stupid Apple agreements and any other terms and conditions you sign, maybe it has some clause in there that they can retroactively change this as like a last line or something. But I think I saw in some stories that there were devs who threatened class action for this, ones who had a lot more money than others to throw around. So I think it sucks. I think this is really stupid, like the worst optics ever.
And
like,
they've course corrected, right?
Yeah, but
to be very clear, like, and
maybe Bree and Sam, you can take it on from here for the course correction.
Well, so they've clarified that it's not going to it's Unity has also clarified that the changes are not retroactive or perpetual, noting it will only charge once for a new installation made after January 2024, January 1st. So it won't be charging for previously made installs. Fees do apply to all the games on the market, meaning any existing player of an older game that exceeds Unity's various thresholds. If they decide to reinstall that game after January 1st, a charge will still be made. So basically, they're like, hey, we're not charging you a bunch of back money for any install that's ever happened, but we're going to start charging you for any new install that happens moving forward. Above a certain threshold. So, any clarity that you wanted to provide on top of that, Sam?
I don't think so. But the one thing I will point out that I mean, it's not a funny situation, obviously, but the ironic thing that I saw pointed out is that the CEO of Unity, that is clearly one of the driving forces behind this decision to try and implement this, was I think also the CEO of EA.
Oh God.
Back in the early 2010s when EA was real scummy. I mean, they're still scummy, but like,
yeah,
like when they
really
were
bad.
Getting into the Battlefront 2 loot box situation stuff. So like, a leopard doesn't change its spots. He is this guy, and I'm sure it's not just him, but when you've got that kind of rotten core at the top, it's not surprising that scummy money-making moves like this will try and be forced onto people that don't really have all that much of a choice.
Because devs don't have, like, a lot of devs don't have the time, resources, or money needed to make their own engine. So stuff like Unreal and Unity is like the only options that they really have. I mean, there are other options like RPG Maker and stuff like that.
That's expensive engine.
That's proprietary, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. They don't contract it out to devs who are outside of EA.
I don't think so.
Because I know Respawn used a modified Source engine to make Titanfall 2, believe it or not.
Anyways, point being that devs don't just have the resources to make their own Unity, essentially, right?
Or even switch from one to the other.
Right, because I can tell you, I have made the switch from Unity to Unreal because of issues, and it was literally a nightmare. And it took us quite some time, and our game was really small that we were moving over. So devs don't really have, they're stuck on Unity. So that's what sucks about this, is that there's nothing that devs can do to stop these fees from happening. There's nothing they can do to halt this.
Yeah.
And Unity's just kind of holding it over the industry now, which is insane. This is going to shift a lot of stuff. Because there's even games there are games that have been developed on Unity. In fact, I'm pretty sure my senior project was developed on Unity that we could theoretically be charged, right, over a certain threshold, but we don't even sell the game. Like, it's literally just like, it's just on the University of Utah's website for people to check out because we won like a bunch of awards and best game of the year and stuff like that, right? So it's like a showcase of like, hey, this is like what you could do if you come to the University of Utah. This is what our students are like. And it's like not even something that we like put up there.
Mm.
So I don't know.
Do you expect if the backlash continues that they might just walk it back entirely?
I don't see how they can't. I really don't see how they can't. If they don't walk it back, Unity is going to die.
Yeah.
If they don't walk it back, there's going to be very, very serious consequences, not only for the industry, but for them.
Well, because in one fell swoop, you've completely disincentivized every single developer from using it. Because why would they want that?
Yep. And for
Enforcement being
games
placed on
that
them?
aren't out yet, they're going to move. They're going to be like, okay, well, I guess we'll just migrate over from Unity. Like, yeah, this is not good. This is not good.
I just don't understand how they can't like forecast this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like how in a board meeting were they like, yeah, we really want to make money, so we're going to do this thing, and nobody was like, well, surely we're going to lose the majority of developers.
This feels very rich people making decisions to me.
Of
Where they're
course.
like, yeah, this is a good idea, and you have to remember that a lot of those like rich people that are making decisions, one, don't understand how the engine works. They don't understand the games industry. They don't understand anything. They only understand money. So when they hear like, oh, we'll make a ton of money if we do this, and we're just giving away a bunch of free money, like is essentially, I'm sure, how this was pitched, right?
But like, there's a big problem where it's sorry, no, go ahead. I interrupted.
No, you're okay. So all I'm saying is that like this, I guarantee the moment it touched somebody in Unity's ears that isn't like somebody that's just trying to make money, they probably freaked out. And I bet a lot of the Unity workers right now are panicking. And like, what do we do? This isn't our decision. I would almost guarantee it.
Like if you have a lot of what separates excellent corporate strategy is usually in the big rooms where executives are about to approve big decisions like this, is at least one person, hopefully more than that, as a liaison from the product to C-suite level management, saying that these optics would suck, guys. I know this would be great, looks like it would be great for the bottom line, but you don't understand how, just from simply, I don't care even if you think it's morally okay, just from a PR perspective, this is not a good idea. I'm really shocked there wasn't someone who raised that red flag in the boardroom, or sorry, not the boardroom, but in the executive room. So I think it also might be a symptom of like high level
corporation
mismanagement, because there are huge corporations who are as more money hungry than Unity, but part of the reason they're so successful is because they're always looking out for their own optics,
right?
And Unity just missed that on this one too. So I think this is just a big blunder. And
you have to remember that there's people that are like rich because like they're smart and they know how to get money out of stuff, right? Without like quote unquote like screwing people over, right? So there's rich people that are smart and know how to get rich smartly, and then there's people that are just rich and then just want more money, and they don't really have like the head empty.
I think ultimately it probably came down to them just thinking that they could hedge their bets, right? Which is how most of the greedy stuff that we've seen, particularly in the games industry, happen, where they'll just poke the bear a little bit, try and push the boundary line a little bit further just to see what they can get away with. And the people higher up at Unity were like, well, we have devs that are basically only proficient with Unity as software, so they won't have a choice, so they're locked in and they won't want to make the shift because that's arguably eating up even more of their own resources, so we can profiteer off of their reliance upon our software. And they thought that that the risk mitigation was enough to warrant them making the choice, but clearly it's blown back in their face. So
Yeah, in a huge
which
way.
is how it always goes. This sort of thing always happens.
And then
Everyone
it's going to be
pokes the bear
really
a little bit too
embarrassing.
much.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Yeah.
they've sullied their reputation. Like, even if they do fully walk this back, everyone is going to remember Unity as you tried to screw us over.
Yep.
I don't know
that isn't something that they can change, really.
The unfortunate truth about this is I don't know if Unity has such a monopoly or maybe is one of a duopoly on the indie space that devs still don't look great. They look down on Unity, but that's the option they have to choose, right? Unity or Unreal.
Sure.
So yes, but also Unreal is a lot more of a beast, and it's you're looking for a bigger game. You're looking for a more meatier game if you're moving to Unreal, right?
Like
Unreal isn't just like a small indie game, right?
Right. It's true.
So Unity doesn't have necessarily a true monopoly, but Unity is doing something different than Unreal is, even though they're both game engines. So Unity doesn't, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have like a full monopoly, but it's close. It's close enough that this is a pretty devastating blow. So.
Yep.
Rip Unity. Good while it lasted.
Yep.
Well, anyway, I think that's all we're going to cover for this show because we have a post show to record.
Oh, God.
So, with that said, thank you all so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube at Save the Game Media, Twitter. I'm not going to say the other name for it. Twitter at Save Game Media. Links are all in the Discord. Support us in Extra Life, Patreon, all that good stuff. Where can people find you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, FabulistBreanna.
Awesome. Where can people find you, Sam H?
You got it. You just got to put the "eni" on the end of that, and when we're sorted, it's
I thought it was
Heiny.
Heiny, yeah.
I've had that before. Trust me.
I know, but it's still funny.
Is it though?
It's better than everybody used to. Okay, mine was somebody asked me if I was named after Harambe.
I really hope they were joking.
They weren't.
Harambe, you predate Harambe, I think.
By quite some time, yeah. Yeah, by quite some time. Yeah, so that's one. And then I also have been called Salami.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Just because my name sounds like slightly.
It sounds like a cured meat.
Yeah, they used to say they literally used to be like, "Oh, harami, that's a meat." I'm like, okay. So
anyway, you can find Sam at SAMHEANEY, right?
That's the one. Yeah, you got there in the end.
On Twitter.
Anything. Yeah. Anything.
On Mastodon.
Not that one. No.
Threads.
OnlyFans.
Yes, that one. Not yet.
MySpace. Tumblr.
Almost.
4chan. Don't go on 4chan.
We should make a Save the Game Media OnlyFans.
You're right. With Kevin's butt tattoo. All right. You can find me on the Discord as Taylor.
No, just Kevin's.
Until next time. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been episode 61. Bye-bye.
Bye.